right. CJH, did you want to add? Are you excited about the Penguin show? Do you think it should add?
Well, I live in Canada, so I don't even know if it's going to be available up here.
Oh,
We
okay.
don't have
You don't have
HBO
HBO Max?
You have Crave
No.
over there. You have Crave.
We'll do.
But
I'm gonna
Crave
do
is
watch.
like
I'm gonna do
$20.
watch. I'm gonna do watch parties for the Penguin that comes out. Definitely.
Just remember that for when it comes out.
Yeah.
Crave is like $20. So.
Well, here's another cool question for the panel. What villains they haven't done yet, or think they haven't got a fair shake at yet? So they have done Mr. Freeze.
Too many. God damn.
Name one at the top. Okay, George really just says Clayface. To me, Clayface is one of my least favorite villains. I'm sorry.
Really, Clayface is the most. Clayface, like that one episode on the Batman animated series, like that was the most episode I felt like that was not for children. That shit got deep under my skin, where people were like doing, surgeries and this and that and the third, and it destroyed their lives. Like, and then all he did, his whole god damn, that shit was so dark. That shit
I don't want to. It's just my opinion. I love people that have different opinions. I just never liked Clayface, even in the.
I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying for me I'm not saying Clayface is a great villain or anything like that, but that one episode on the animated Batman series, god damn, that shit was very deep, very dark, very dark.
Killer.
What about Croc? Not Croc, because Croc is not like this.
Killer Croc?
Croc is not like this disgusting piece of shit. He was made that way, by the way. He was made that way. So Croc could be a great fucking villain.
Well, let's
go
with
around. The city flooded. You can probably do Croc. And
Croc or Mr. Freeze. Mr. Freeze.
I feel like Mr. Freeze would be the best one because Mr. Freeze is, I feel like, by far one of the best. He's not really a villain. He's doing everything for the right reason. He's just doing it the way he's just doing what he got to do. You know what I'm saying?
For me personally, I would say Two-Face because in the Batman movie, they need a new DA in the office because they kill him. So Harvey Dent had to show up in the next sequel. Which I hope Oscar Isaac play him because that would be cool.
Two-Face just has to be built though. Two-Face he can't just appear. There has to be
no. He's Harvey Dent. Yeah, he's Harvey Dent. Then he becomes Two-Face after. Yeah. Right.
Listen, I'm not a hater of Clayface. It's just he's the last on my list. That's all.
What about Rage Al Ghul?
Well, I think we got a good one.
I think they're saving that for the DCU.
No.
Yeah, there's too much with Ra's al Ghul. There's too much.
I like Liam Neeson's portrayal of him.
You mean the White Watch?
No. Well, I like him, but he's not Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah, he's not Ra's al Ghul.
Also, it's like they didn't even pronounce the name correctly.
Yeah, Ray. What was it?
Ra's al Ghul.
I mean, okay, so he could be. People still think he could be done better. All right.
Poison Ivy.
Not exactly.
Mad Hatter.
Hugo Strange.
Mad Hatter. Hugo Strange is one.
Hugo Strange. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Where he goes into the psyche of Batman. That's what we actually need. That would be great.
I think Mr. Freeze would be really, really challenge a young Batman too, because realizing that he's not exactly a villain. He's just. Yeah,
but all right, real talk. Young Batman in his early years. What would be the best villain for young Batman?
I think an older Mr. Freeze too.
That's true. That's better on the. That's good shit.
Rick Avani.
I like that because he would conflict with himself about how to deal with it. Because how would you deal with a loved one? But you're still doing things for the wrong reason, but you're still trying to save someone you like. That's
Black Mask.
I like CJH's recommendation of Deathstroke too, a similar character but taking on the villain of him.
I think Deathstroke is an older Batman villain though.
But that might be interesting. Sometimes. It might be interesting to have a young Batman go on against the older Deathstroke. I don't know. That's my opinion.
Yeah, that's a good.
And he might learn some things from him too.
What about Professor Pig or Black Mask?
Professor Pig.
Oh, that's the guy who likes
like
to shot
serial
people
killer. Yeah,
he's a serial killer.
That
stuff like that.
Yeah. There's two I've always wanted to see on the screen, but I'd prefer.
What about Deathshot?
I don't know.
He's a Batman villain too.
Crazy Joe, what was your favorite?
Polka Dot Man.
There's two I've always wanted to see on the screen, but I would prefer they be in the DCU than these Matt Reeves movies. But I've always wanted to see the Ventriloquist. I love the Ventriloquist.
Oh, the Ventriloquist, yes.
And
Damn, I forgot
Man-Bat.
about him. Yes.
I think Man-Bat's really cool because he's definitely a more fantasy creature, so you can do a more gothic fantasy with him, but he's also kind of a bit of a horror character, so it doesn't necessarily fall into like a campy silly. It could be more like a dark horror take on it as well.
Yes, the Ventriloquist could absolutely be a horror take on all that shit too, because of how fucking crazy that guy realistically really was. Yes, I forgot about that whole character. Yes, that would be great.
My answers would be
Deathstroke
exact
is
opposite of
anybody
Crazy
villain.
Joe's. No offense, Crazy Joe.
You don't like Ventriloquist?
Not that much though.
Oh.
But I respect
You're wrong though. It's okay to be wrong. It's okay to be
I
wrong.
guess I'm wrong. I don't know,
It's a
Matt.
man
it's okay to
Matt,
be wrong.
what would be
suffering
at the
from schizophrenia.
what would be the top
That
of
is-
your list of Matt of Batman villains that we haven't really seen yet or done well yet, or that would be good to go toe to toe with the younger Batman still learning and
I think Black Mask would be pretty solid. For having kind of like a central.
Not the Birds of Shit one.
Yeah, whatever. I liked Ewan McGregor's performance in the movie. I also really wanted to see more from Zaz. Unfortunately, I think Chris Messina played him really well. He did a good job. He did.
Yeah.
We just didn't get much out of him in that, unfortunately.
I hope that cast comes back at least.
Zaz isn't he like blown up? Like he's
dead.
He's dead.
Yeah,
Black
but the
Mask
universe
was
is getting
blown up,
reset by the Flash, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. I mean, you can have it where Harley didn't blow up.
It's whatever you want, though, dude.
Black
Go ahead,
Mask.
go ahead.
Wait, Victor Zsasz was in the DCEU?
Yes, and Birds of Prey.
Yeah, and Birds of
Like
Shit.
Chris Messina. He was
Oh, yeah. I remember.
Black Mask.
Blue Jay $1.99 gun should put Nuclear Man in the DCU
Oh
for
my
Superman
gosh,
Legacy.
If anyone could pull it off, it would be James Gunn. He'd put some weird twist on it that would make it. I think he could. I normally would not be for that idea, but James Gunn doing it, I could see it.
I don't
I will
see
not
Nuclear
watch-
Man coming back. Watcher, I don't know what you mean by Batman hate. I don't. I love Batman. It's just I have a hierarchy of villains that I want to see, and some of the more the stranger ones for
again,
me personally.
Batman
I like the
has
more.
favorite
I
superhero of
like
all
the
time.
more grounded villains, just like to bring up Snyderverse
Real
again.
talk.
It's more grounded superhero thing, and people like the more. And people have a different opinion. They like the more fantastical or interesting, quirky characters. I like
When
the
it
more
comes-
stuff that's in
wait,
based
right,
in
When it
reality.
comes
Well,
to
if you're
Batman,
going
Batman
to
is made
int-
by his villains. I don't think Batman is as good as his villains. Villains make Batman because Batman really is one-dimensional. Realistically, when it comes to Batman, his villains make him. His villains make him interesting. That's the
I
way
gotta,
look at him.
I gotta say though, Max, I disagree with your take there because I think that the Snyder version of Batman is not a grounded version. He's a version who exists in a world with Superman and Wonder Woman.
Yeah, that part. Yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like the fantasy element is there. Whereas in we always heard Christopher Nolan say, "Oh well, a Superman wouldn't fit into my world." So
It would. He just wouldn't allow it.
I think Batman can be grounded.
what
and
about-
I
what
think the
about,
Christopher Nolan Batmans were all mostly grounded in reality, and the Pattinson one is too. I
What
think
about the close out?
Well, we don't really know if the
Pattinson one, I feel like
Pattinson
it's
one
the
is
most
grounded. I mean,
Pattinson one is.
Yeah.